going on, Jerome's? It's officially mock draft season, and Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network, is one of the gold standards when it comes to draft analysis. He's been an executive. He's worked as a scout. Still has his ear to the ground. It seems like every other year there's some rumors about him taking a GM job. We'll see, but I think him and Bucky Brooks have one of the best draft podcasts out there. Move the Sticks, as well as I think that he's definitely a thought leader, because given his connections to guys that are still in the know, scouts, GMs, etc., that it's funny. So you'll see mock drafts where players will be, say, day 2 selections. All of a sudden, Daniel releases his first mock draft, which he just did, and some of those players are first-round picks, and then magically, some of those players just rise up a little bit. So we're going to dive in. He's got his first one up, and the Vikings go D-line. You know you want it, in the first round. So he goes Caleb Williams to the Bears. He goes Drake May to the Commies. Also, so ever since the Whitlock thing, I've turned off my ad blocker because I want to see what ads pop up for me. This checks out. So I know these aren't like Jordan 1s, but just the purple and gold looks pretty good. Plus $60. I mean, that's a hell of a deal, man. Yeah, there you go. Then you got the Patriots going Jane Daniels at 3. I think he could be a lot of fun. Well, we'll see if that plays in Boston. But I think that Jane Daniels and Gerard Mayo could be the nouveau C.J. Stroud and D'Amico Ryans. There's no trades in this mock, but here MHJ going to the Cardinals, checks out. Rome Odunze going as the wide receiver 2 to the Chargers. Malik Neighbors going to the Giants. I think that there could be a very early run on wide receivers, and that could actually help out the Vikings, because I think there will be a run on receivers and quarterbacks as well as offensive tackles. And the Vikings, I mean, there's going to be a lot of talent pushed down to the Vikes. They could have their choice of the edges, D linemen, as well as cornerbacks. But Turner and Verse, as I say that, Turner and Verse goes to the Falcons and Bears respectively. Now, Verse paired up with Sweat, it's pretty damn good, especially if you got Caleb Williams. But if I'm the Bears, I mean, be interested in offensive tackle? Maybe. Dallas Turner. Now, Falcons missed out on the big 3 quarterbacks, but I mean, pending what happens in free agency, do they go after Kirk Cousins? Is Belichick there? Who knows, man? Fuaga goes to the Jets, first offense tackle off the board. And the Vikings are an interesting spot. What was here? All right, so Vikings, interesting spot. At 11, they take Byron Murphy II. Now, yes, there is going to be some confusion because the Vikings have cornerback Byron Murphy Jr. They're not related. And no, Murph is not Murph's dad. Which, how old is Byron Murphy Jr.? Like 27? And Murphy II is like 26? No, it's 21. Doesn't make sense. Makes zero sense at all, man. But yeah, the Vikings going defensive line here. Now, some people could get mad, where it's like, hey, just take Nix. Hey, just take Penix. Hey, just take McCarthy at 11. But again, it's early in the draft process, and also who knows what is going to shake out in free agency. But here's what DJ writes. I believe Murphy is the top defensive tackle in this class. The Vikings need to add manpower. More firepower up front. DJ knows that the Vikings need to get back to having the meats. And Byron Murphy Jr. Is a guy that I like a lot. Texas, hook 'em, baby. That's right. And Murphy is an interesting story. So he's 21 years young, 6'1", 308, former 4-star recruit from DeSoto, Texas. Now, he only played 1 season as starter for the Longhorns. Now, he was a rotational guy, yes, but his first 2 years, he was sort of stuck behind guys like Keandre Coburn, Morho Ajomo, both day 3 selections last year. But this year, he and Tavondre Sweat, frankly, I think they anchored one of the best defensive lines in all college football, and they looked really damn good all season. Murphy, 29 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 21 stops, 45 pressures. He had a 26% pressure rate. So a quarter of the time, he's getting heat on the quarterback. That's amazing, man. I love it. Also, he's a rushing and receiving threat. I mean, Texas used him like the Fridge Perry. It's kind of hilarious, man. But 91.1 PFF grade overall. First team All Big 12, Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. And there's a lot to like about Murphy. Even though, yes, 1 year of high-level production, I think that you are certainly betting on the come. He's got that quick first step. He's got functional NFL-level strength. Plays with good leverage. And, people are going to knock his height, but actually actually in the interior, that could help you because he consistently is getting underneath the pads of offensive linemen and control the hands, control the man sort of deal. And I do think that BM2 doesn't really work. Nah. But he's got a good punch. He does have some technical work to do to work with his hands, as well as he rushes with a plan. But adding a couple more pass rush moves to his repertoire is going to be huge. Plus, it plays a run with gusto. That's the thing too. Where if you're a defensive interior guy, I mean, you can't really be an edge rusher where you just sort of pick and choose and cherry pick. Where it's such a tell when a defensive player has a lot of sacks, but has a low number of tackles and low number of tackle for loss. Just go look that up. By the way, Danielle Hunter, 16.5 sacks, tied for the NFL lead in tackles for loss. Shows you everything about him. Also, positional flexibility. So at Texas, he played pass rushing down nose tackle. He played some 3-tech, some 4-tech, some 5-tech, even lined up as a wide defensive end at times. And I think you're just scratching the surface of what Murphy can do. Again, he's a true junior, so 21 years young, was a 1-year starter. And I think that he's a guy that's going to scale up in terms of what he's going to do in the pros. Also, I mean, so say the Vikings re-sign Kirk, and they're all in on him for the next couple of years. Which could you maneuver and find yourself, Penix or McCarthy or Nix a little bit later on? Certainly, but the Vikings' biggest need is defensive line. And we need to add size and nastiness. And if there's a way to get Murphy the second, as well as his teammate Tavondre Sweat, I won't be mad. I would not be mad at all, man. Rest of the mock, Terrion Arnold. So it's a good cornerback class. It's deep, but there isn't top tier guys. But Arnold being paired up with fellow Alabama alumni PS2. It's not bad for them. Fashanu going to the Raiders, protecting whoever the hell is going to be quarterback there. Is it going to be Russ? There you go. Saints going to Bo Nix. Bo knows. The Derek Carr thing is ridiculous, and they got to weather the storm for the cap, and having your rookie starter on a rookie deal does make sense. Plus, Nix, he was originally at Auburn, so that doesn't make any sense geographically wise. Anyways, Brock Bowers going to the Colts. Now, this is interesting because a lot of people in the mom have Brock Bowers as a top 10 pick, if not a top 5 pick, but maybe DJ has his ear to the ground and knows what's up, so maybe the league doesn't value Bowers as much as other positions because he is a tight end. Who knows? Fatano staying in Washington, going to the Seahawks. Mitchell going to the Jaguars. J.C. Latham, which I don't know, man. Can you make that block one time and then we don't have to hear about all this Michigan stuff? But it seems like the Bengals are constantly looking for protection for Joe Burrow. Or is it gonna be Jake Browning? Who knows, man? All right, so our ad now. What can customers expect from your AI strategy? I don't know, man. Like, I would love if I could just replace myself with AI. The Rams picking up Latu. We're keeping him in LA now. Medically, if he checks out, I think he could be the first edge rusher off the board, but there's a lot of question marks there. Steelers suture up the offensive line. Brian Thomas Jr., this is a good wide receiver class, man. But, I mean, the Dolphins really need wide receivers. They need everything else, man. Where's the interior offensive line? Why aren't they taking the Oregon center? I don't know. Guyton to the Eagles. Chop Robinson. So, a lot of people see Chop Robinson as like a day 2 project, but he sneaks into the first round here with DJ. Jordan Morgan, the tackle, going to the Cowboys. A little bit of estate planning for Tyron Smith. Although, even though Tyler Smith's been great at guard, like, is the plan to have him at left tackle? Tulsa King? Who knows? Graham Barton, go to the Packers, sure. Love them some Duke. Cooper DeJean going to the Cardinals. So the Cardinals pick up Marvin Harrison Jr. and Cooper DeJean. So they're definitely hammering the Big Ten, which I kind of like. I mean, Cardinals could be kind of plucky and sporty next year. I mean, the Cardinals could be next year's version of the Texans, sort of. Drazan Newton, who I also love a lot. I think that Newton and Murphy could be 1A, 1B in terms of defensive interior, but he goes to Buffalo. Pairs up with Ed Oliver and company. Tez Walker going to the Chiefs. I mean, Walker's whole eligibility thing with North Carolina was kind of whatever, but Walker with Rice long term, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Nate Wiggins, I would hate if Nate Wiggins goes to the Lions, where he's a physical freak and he's got length and he's got aggressiveness, and he would be perfect, absolutely perfect for what Flores wants to do. And yeah, he'd be a pain in the ass. Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid gets all the hype because of his name, but Tyrion is the better of the two corners right now in terms of Alabama guys. But McKinstry going to the Niners, and then the Ravens. Troy Franklin, what up? Pride of Oregon. Again, it's a really good wide receiver class. But I feel like every year is a good wide receiver class. It's almost like the game has changed. But Vikings going with Murphy II in Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft. Again, don't mind it at all. We have the meats. Right. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts and his thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.